sure everyone listening to this podcast is trying to find ways to stand out amongst the noise. We're bombarded with so many pieces of content now from so many angles as well. And so I think we are like our radar as a society, as a global society is incredibly high. So every little detail is something we're all analyzing subconsciously. And we have such a short attention span to anything that's not tapping into our interests or aligning with our personal goals, our personal values. And I think that is probably why we're seeing a massive shift. And I think not just in sound, just in everything in terms of what people are putting out into the world.
Yeah, and I think that's a really interesting point. Yeah, which I feel like there is a shift now. I have nothing but my own thoughts to base this off, so there will be no scientific stats as per George Holliday here. But it feels like there's a movement towards less content, but of higher value. And I think that's indicative of like consideration that every piece does reflect a brand. And so it's like, do you want to just be scattergunning, machine gun firing out content just to try and keep up with an algorithm? Or do you want each piece to sort of really represent you? And if you want the latter, then it's all starting to be a bit more considered and sound as part of that considered strategy is an essential part that I think we'll start to see in the coming years more clearly.
Yeah, definitely. I think our emotional radar as well as our radar is pretty high. So for a piece of content to actually, cut through the noise and grab our attention on a deeper level, I think, brands are so much talking about brand experience and how people feel with the brand. And like how you feel with the brand is an emotional kind of value, I guess, in some way.
It's all emotion, so 100%.
It's all emotion. So how do you tap into that? Like what was I watching yesterday? Oh, I'm currently in Portugal and I was at basically like a national park place, and we stumbled across a harpist and a classical guitar player who were just about to do this hour-long concert. I saw that. It was totally for free. Yeah, they were part of the Lisbon Film Orchestra. And we sat there and it just moved me so much. Like it was such a nice separation. One of those experiences where you walk back into the world and you're like, well, people are just like living their day-to-day lives out here. And we just had that amazing experience. And I think that's almost like that's an extreme version of how brands, I think, want to be tapping into an audience now.
It's that immersive aspect as well that I think you see so many immersive experiences happening with brands and activations, and they're trying to take you into that world. And like you just touched on, is there any greater trigger for an emotional reaction than sound in the world? I would say no.